Hello everyone and welcome to Gaming Reviews. Now this is the very first official video where I'm addressing my subscribers personally. And I think this is a very important step for this channel because I've never done a video like this before. And I think it's very important that there is some form of communication between us, that there is a conversation between me and you, the subscriber, or maybe just the one who comes by my channel and says, oh, this is cool content, and you might subscribe or you might not subscribe. But at this point, 50,000 people have said, I want to watch the content that this guy puts on his channel. And I think that's a huge step. I think that's a huge milestone for Gaming Reviews, especially considering from where the channel has come from. And that's something that I will also clarify in this video. So before we move on to the promised Q&A that I promised 2 or 3 months ago, I'm sorry for that. I'll talk a little bit about how this channel came to be and why it's important that you subscribe to Gaming Reviews and why this support means so much. And then indeed, as I said, we'll be going to the Q&A and I'll answer some of the questions that you guys have asked in the video that I posted a long time ago. And I'll answer them to the best of my abilities. And just before I start, let me issue, a small apology in terms of the Q&A, because I said I wanted to put that video out. Actually, this video, I wanted to put it out 2 or 3 months ago, but I just did not have the time. And that's because I was still studying for my master's degree. And everybody who has done a master's degree, I'm sure in the final year, it's just unreal the amount of work that you need to put into all the courses, especially some of the most important ones. I just did not have the time. I said to myself, I'm gonna find a small spot somewhere in my schedule and make this video, and it was impossible. So, and especially considering the amount of work that goes in a video like this. So we're finally here, and let me start by giving you a small story about what Gaming Reviews is, and then we'll go to the questions. Okay, so Gaming Reviews started back in October of 2010 when I uploaded my very first video, a random track from Ultimate Carnage. And the reason was because I wanted people that knew me, I wanted to be able to say, I have a video on YouTube. So if people would say, hey, did you see that guy on YouTube? I would say, yeah, but I also have a video on YouTube. So I could just have some bragging rights, honestly. That was the only reason that I ever started YouTube. And back in the day, I had a new computer with high specifications, and I could run pretty much any game I wanted at that time, including one of the very first popular series on my channel, which is Crysis. I was actually surprised that I saw nobody upload Crysis videos, and I said, I can do this at 30 frames per second back in the day, full HD. I said, I'm gonna do that. So my channel didn't start with the idea of having this one concept that I wanted to realize, just like many YouTubers who said they had an idea of making videos, but they never would think that people would jump on board, and then all of a sudden they got viral. That's not the case with Gaming Reviews, alright? I didn't even know about channels and subscribers or even views. So I saw all of this, I looked up the software to record my game, and there was the very first video in October of 2010. And from there on, I was just intrigued by the idea of the fact that you could watch videos on YouTube from games that you didn't have, as if you were playing the game. So I was very interested about the highest possible quality, the best, the most optimized recording software, just being able to play the games on a relatively good level and just show them off to the world. So I continue with games like Guild Wars, Crysis, as I said. I think there is even Rush, Half-Life 2, Portal 2, etc. And at that same time, around the same time that I was also getting interested in level design and pursuing my musical career, and just getting even more interested in making other types of videos of games and mods that people didn't really play that much, I got acquainted with Zombie Escape. And now everybody who is a subscriber on my channel, I think 95% of the people subscribed to my channel are Zombie Escape fans. And this is the type of content that truly blew the channel, that skyrocketed the channel at some point. And that's with Zombie Escape Minecraft v1-on-1, I think. And I think a lot of you know the video that I'm talking about, but if you haven't seen it yet, here it is. And this kind of video was unreal to see the response from people about Zombie Escape. And it goes as far as seeing people say that this is the very first video they ever saw of Counter-Strike Source. So that's just how significant that video is. That's why it also has so many views right now. And then from there on, I continued doing Zombie Escape because I knew people loved that content. And at some point I was starting to do other games, and I was finally starting to jump on CSGO, and then I had my very first break. A huge break, which I honestly regret having done because it was a hard time. I had a hard time getting back up from that, and that's not that long ago. I think it's a year and a half, maybe 2 years, ever since I picked up the videos again and started re-uploading. And from there on, I think the next successful milestone was Zombie Escape 1.6, which I know a lot of you guys enjoy, and actually a lot of server owners have contacted me and said, you know, thank you for making these videos, because not a lot of people are covering, or at least not a lot of channels that have some form of exposure are featuring this game mode. And I didn't even know like a year ago that 1.6 was the original game where Zombie Escape comes from. So that's pretty cool. And that's kind of the, you know, very shortly, the story of gaming reviews and how it came to be. Now, why is it named gaming reviews if you're only doing gameplay? Well, for those who don't know, I did do some reviews about games back, you know, I think it's almost a year ago now since the latest one that I uploaded. And like, it had two phases and none of those were really successful. I saw the response from people and people didn't really like it or disagreed, for instance, but disagreeing is fine. But just in general, I don't think people like this content on my channel. And so why do I keep this name? First off, because gaming reviews obviously is now related to my videos, so people know my videos as being gaming reviews, so I'm not gonna change it anymore. But secondly, I'm still trying to find a new way, a new formula for making game reviews that people actually enjoy. So, you know, for now the game reviews are on hold, and I'm trying to find a new way of making them. But so far I'm only making gameplay videos, and I've done this because you guys like it. And I don't think it's a good idea as a channel owner to just diss that away and say, I'm gonna do something else, and the old content that you like, that. No, that's not what I'm gonna do. So I'm keeping Zombie Escape, I'm keeping the other game modes that are popular, but later down the road I will probably pick up the game reviews again, and hopefully they'll be in a format that you like. So that's very shortly said the story of gaming reviews. I could continue on about speaking in detail of things that happen, but it's just not possible. I think it's more important that we are finally jumping to the questions that you guys have asked in the Q&A video that I put up 2 or 3 months ago, so that you know you have a way of asking me some things that I can reply to, and not just in the comments, but also really through a video with a real voice and personality. Because honestly, otherwise you're always seeing gaming reviews behind that wall, but you're not seeing what's on the other side of the wall, and I think that is important. Conversation is important. So let's jump to the Q&A, and I'll answer them as best as I can. I won't be able to answer all of the questions, but I've written down the most important ones, the ones I think that are very interesting. And so yeah, let's jump to the first question. So the very first question, I'm bringing this one up immediately because I just talked about it, but do you still review games, or is it strictly CS on the channel? Now, as I said, no, it's not strictly Counter-Strike. And I still intend to do game reviews, but right now I just don't have the time. They take up so much time. That's one thing I can say for sure. The amount of work that goes into making game reviews, it's unreal. And for those who know Angry Joe, that guy right now is having a hell of a lot of fire because he's not doing that much game reviews. And honestly, one of the reasons is because they take up so much time and he can't do all games. And now I understand 100% what he's into, and the kind of reviews he's doing are like 100 times more difficult. And I understand why it's a hard job, and that's why I also have put it on hold right now, to find a new formula that works for everybody, not just for me but also for you. So no, I'm not strictly a gameplay channel, but right now the reviews are on hold. So the next question is, what servers do you play? That's, considering in general, I don't play a specific server. Now I did used to love PlagueFest on Counter-Strike Source, and actually even on CSGO, but they're not very relevant there. Now that community kind of died, and ever since I actually play on any server that has a lot of players. That really, I'm not just picking a few communities. No, I'm literally looking at the servers who have the most players, and then I look at the map that is being played, and if it's a map that I like, I'm gonna pick that one server, no matter if there is another one that I enjoy more. And the reason for that is because I realize a lot of server owners enjoy it when their server is being hosted on YouTube, so that it becomes popular. And I think everybody deserves a fair chance. So I play all kind of servers. Let's say in Counter-Strike Source I played PlagueFest the most, but now it's mostly Unloose and GFL, and sometimes even the Net4All, the Russian server. And in CSGO it's definitely Mapiodores, GFL, are there other ones? Steam Gamers, I sometimes do play. And I think that's mainly the three only ones that I play. I don't think the other servers on CSGO are that popular. And on 1.6, obviously it's progaming.ba, but also HS Corp, Evil ZCS, MILF Escape. There are other ones I can't remember them off the top of my head, but there are a ton of there that I play. And honestly, even if there is a new server that gets a lot of players all of a sudden, I would be happy to jump onto it and play with the people that are there. So I don't play a specific server. I play all the servers that are available with a lot of players. Now, the next question is a very interesting one, one that caused a lot of debate amongst veterans in the community and veterans from Zombie Escape. Out of all these Zombie Escape iterations, what is your favorite and why? This is a hard question to answer, and there are many reasons for that. And I would say what it boils down to is, I think, is which version of the engine feels best for Zombie Escape gameplay. And amongst everyone, the general opinion has always been Counter-Strike Source. Now, do I like Counter-Strike Source more than the two others? Not really. Now, Counter-Strike Source is the one game that I started on the first, the one game, Source version that I started on first. And I'm never gonna forget that. And I've played on Source for 2 years until CSGO came out, and then I jumped over to CSGO a year later when the settings for the servers were getting better. And now, a year ago, I just jumped on 1.6, and honestly, they're almost incomparable. You cannot really say that version is better than the other one because the other ones just suck. It's difficult to say. 1.6 plays out entirely different than Source and CSGO. Whereas CSGO and Counter-Strike Source, they are more or less similar, but the settings and the weapons are different. So there are a lot of differences between each of the game versions, and honestly, I don't really favor a specific one, but if you really want to have like an answer to that, yes, I can say overall I probably had the most fun on Counter-Strike Source, but I already had a ton of fun as well on 1.6 and CSGO that I didn't expect in the beginning. So these turned out to be, great versions of Zombie Escape, but probably don't have like the best possible settings for Zombie Escape as we have in Source. So yeah, do I really like Counter-Strike Source that much over the two others? No, but it probably has that tiny little bit edge that makes it just that little bit better than the two others. But in general, I don't really have a big favorite. So I think that should answer your question. So next up is, what is your favorite map? Now that's easily answered. It's definitely Predator. Zombie Escape Predator Ultimate V3, or even the older versions, because it has gone through a fun evolution and I've loved every version of it. And the reason why is because not only is Predator, you know, by standards, it's an amazing map, but it's also the first map that I've ever played. Back in the time when I was playing still the regular gameplay of Counter-Strike Source, I became bored of it. And I said, you know what, I'm trying to look for other things. And I was playing Surf also at the time, but I have also played Surf for 2 years. And I said, you know, isn't there something else in the services? So I browsed for the services and I switched the alphabetic setting so it would start with the Z. And all of a sudden I saw these maps called ZE underscore and then the name of the map. And I saw like one server with a huge amount of players, 64 players, and I was like, what? And so I joined that server, and the first map that I ever got to play is Predator. And now this is super important, I think, for everybody who's new to Zombie Escape. Starting with a good map is important, because if you have a shitty map that nobody gives a shit about and is very ugly and plays boringly out, you're not gonna like Zombie Escape, and probably you're gonna exit and never come back again. But I was very lucky, and when I saw Predator, I was mind blown. I was blown away. And thanks to LeFaren, by the way, probably the most amazing map maker, one of the most amazing map maker, but also definitely my most favorite map maker for Zombie Escape. I mean, this map, Predator, is the one that brought me into this universe, and I've never forgotten it. And there are actually technically, on a technical level, there are maps that are much more impressive and that are more beautiful looking, and that might even play a bit more, you know, with bit more variety. Sorry, and maybe even more fun. But somewhere Predator has a special place in my heart, and I can never forget about this map. So my favorite map is Predator. Okay, the next question, I'm not gonna spend too much time on that, but do you play competitive besides ZE? Yes, I do. And I honestly think the more that I play it, the longer I play competitive, the more I want to stay away from it, because the amount of hackers, not just matchmaking, but also on Faceit and ESEA, the amount of hackers, the focus on skins and the other things above the actual game itself, it's starting to become unreal, and matchmaking, I wouldn't even recommend it anymore. It's gone to a point that I feel like, Valve, what are you doing? And I'm sorry, especially given the latest announcements as of making this video with the keychains and artifact, whatever. But yeah, I do play matchmaking, though I think it's not gonna last that long anymore. I will probably quit it very soon. Now the next question is like, how long since the first time you have uploaded? Now, as I said in the story of gaming reviews, it's been since I think the 11th of October 2010, if I recall correctly, the very first video. So that would make it, I think, it's almost 7 years now, 6 years and a half, I think. So that's pretty cool. That's a long time already for being on YouTube, and I would be happy to keep it up. But yeah, it's been almost 7 years. So that's pretty cool. Okay, now the next question is pretty cool. If you are able to see one YouTuber, who would it be? And I think that's easily answered from my side. It would definitely be Angry Joe. And I think a lot of people who did see my reviews have, you know, have said that my reviews look a lot like the ones of Angry Joe, and I mean, I agree with that. And I've been actually too inspired by him, because people were commenting about the fact that I was copying Angry Joe, and it's completely correct. I try to strafe away from that. That's what I meant with trying to find a new formula that is unique, more or less unique, and works for everybody. But yeah, my favorite YouTuber is without a doubt Angry Joe, who makes insane content, and I would love to meet the guy, but probably never gonna happen anyway. But I mean, if I would be able to meet him, that would be amazing. It would be Angry Joe, definitely. Now the next question is very is a question that a lot of people wanted to know. Like, do you like 1.6? Because all my friends, I've been playing Source for like, I mean, the time that I've started the first video for Zombie Escape, that's like 6 years now, and I've played CS:GO for 4 years now. And just 1 year ago, I started 1.6, and so obviously, if you go from Source to CS:GO, and then all of a sudden you go all the way back, many people think that if you come from the more upgraded games, it's impossible to enjoy 1.6, but I disagree. And I love Zombie Escape 1.6. It's amazing. And I was surprised that it was so good, because it feels all different. The play, the movement, it's entirely different, but the spirit of Zombie Escape is still there, and it's in a different way there than you find in Source or CS:GO. And I just love it. I didn't expect it, you know, to like it so much, and that's why I decided to make these videos. And for years, people have said to me, Joris, please start uploading 1.6. And I've always been like, no, I don't want to play 1.6. I mean, that game is old as hell. I'm not gonna play it. But then, you know, again, in the same vein as you know, when I was bored of the regular gameplay, I was bored of Zombie Escape at some point, and I said, you know, maybe, just maybe I should try it out. Maybe I need to look at, okay, how does it play out? But I already had very low expectations, and I was so surprised when I joined it, and it was a lot of fun. Surely I had to get acquainted with the different movements, but I just love playing it right now, and I'm gonna keep uploading 1.6 for sure in the future on gaming reviews. So yeah, I love 1.6. Oh, the next question is also pretty interesting. What made you upload mostly Zombie Escape videos, and what motivated me to keep uploading them for almost 7 years? Indeed. Well, honestly, if it wasn't clear already, I love the mod a lot. It's one of my favorite games. Well, it's one of my favorite mods in one of my favorite games as well. But it's mostly because of the communities. The communication between players, the ability to achieve something with a random group of people, let's say 32, 30 lower, depending on obviously how you beat certain maps with the final count of humans, but it's the ability to achieve something on the internet, online, with where you know almost nobody except for the veterans. I mean, you know them well through the forums and stuff, but you don't really know them personally. And still achieve something that is amazing. I mean, there are a lot of videos, a lot of examples where at the end you can just see the joy of people, of the players that succeeded in, you know, in winning a map, but also sometimes the zombies of conquering the human team just before they were able to win. And it's always that feeling that is just so amazing. And just also the fact that this gameplay within Zombie Escape is always random, it's always varied. There's always something coming up that you didn't expect, and that's what kept me into this universe and kept me uploading Zombie Escape videos for all this time. Okay, the next question is a very good question, and by the way, a question of one of the people that subscribe to my channel for a long time right now, and that's Snowblaze. Thank you so much. This guy has always been there from the beginning almost, and I mean, it's just amazing to see some of these figures coming back so much, also in the comment section, that I actually remembered their names. So Snowblaze, thank you so much. And to move on to your question, will you ever expand or try out other zombie modes like Zombie Riot, Zombie Hunting, or generally other game modes? I think I have a video or two about Zombie Escape Riot. I'm gonna have to look that up after I make the video, but Zombie Riot, you know, it's playing against bots, and it can only be fun for, you know, a short amount of time, but after that it just becomes boring. And unless you have a good team or a good amount of players playing on the server for Zombie Riot, you're never really gonna win, and the bots essentially will always catch up to you. In the end, I didn't find the gameplay to be that interesting, although there is another YouTuber, I think by the name of Jan Doodle, who has an immensely popular video on that mode itself. So I know it could get popular, but it's not really my kind of thing. And if it's not my kind of thing, I don't like to continue with it. And if I think the other thing is more interesting, the zombie hunting. I guess you mean with that zombie mod, like the ZM underscore and then the name of the maps. That kind of type I've thought about a lot to do, but I have not yet been able to pursue that because Zombie Escape is just what is currently popular on my channel, and I think I put up 1 or 2 ZM videos so far, and I can't say that the response has been negative, but I just didn't feel yet the need to make that step. So maybe if at some point Zombie Escape starts to dry out a little bit, I might consider jumping to ZM and to Zombie Mod, and who knows, maybe it will be interesting. But about the other game modes, nah, probably not. Like surf, no, I'm not a good surfer at all, even if I surfed for maybe 3 years at this point. I'm not good in combat surf, definitely not good in skill surf. And the other game modes, aim, fight yard, what is it? There are a ton of others. Gun game, or what is? There are other game modes, I guess. Demolition or something. Let's just say that from CS:GO. No, it's not really my kind of thing. Or Defusal. Just the regular gameplay is not my kind of thing. I'm not that good. I don't think I would be interesting at all, and I will probably never really do those game modes. Now, the next question is a bit vague. And also difficult to really answer to, but I'm gonna try. Do you agree with all players like Silas, which by the way on YouTube is Sodi1991, or Tony Montana, a very, very good player back in the days? I don't know if he returned right now, but he was a very good player when I knew him, and others. I guess if you're talking about do we agree about the stance or about the future of Zombie Escape, then I can say that the opinions are varied. There are a lot of people I've met that said, you know, it's crazy that you keep doing Zombie Escape because the communities are dying and the people are getting worse at the game, and there are only new players coming, the game is gonna die. There are also other people who said, oh, we need to get Zombie Escape to become a standalone title and really make a game from it separately so it can live on forever. By the way, that's been tried multiple times already, but it's never really worked out so far. And so I do agree and disagree, and my general opinion of Zombie Escape is that I think it's more alive than ever. I mean, if you see the statistics of the CSGO Zombie Escape servers are full almost all day long. 64 players all day long. That's crazy. I don't think that's a sign of the game mod dying. I think the interest is just increasing, and I think some of my videos are proof of the fact that, you know, the people are interested, because a ton of comments every day I get from you know, players who said, you know, thank you that I was able to discover this mod and I finally was able to join the server and I really enjoy the gameplay a lot. And that's cool to see, so I don't think it's dying at all. But I understand some of the reactions from veteran players who feel like, yes, it's not as it was back in the day, especially at the days when PlagueFest was alive. Like that community, a lot of veterans from there are angry that, first off, the community of PlagueFest died, but secondly, that Zombie Escape is really... Zombie Escape has known a lot of evolutions and it always changes. But I think that's a good thing. And that's kind of, you know, my opinions on Zombie Escape, and I think it's still alive and well, and it will only grow from there on. Now the last question is, in the older Counter-Strike games, are people still playing those maps? So I guess what you mean from that is, are people still playing the maps in Counter-Strike Source that are now appearing in CSGO? Well, definitely with a lot of the ports. When a port comes to Counter-Strike Source or vice versa, I mean in both directions, people love it because, you know, for a lot of those who are new to Zombie Escape and started in CSGO instead of Counter-Strike Source, for them it's a brand new map. So in both sides, all the maps are being played, literally all. And if there is a brand new map coming on both platforms, guarantee that everybody's playing that map for the next weeks, trying to beat it. So that's definitely a yes. People are still playing the maps in the older versions, or even the you know, from Source to CSGO, or even 1.6 to CSGO. I'm sure if that would ever happen, it would not be a problem. In fact, recently there's been a port from Source to 1.6 from Mako Reactor. I actually put up a video about that, and people loved it. And while it's not the same, I mean, the boss battles are all gone, and a lot of the special effects are gone, and it looks very robust compared to the Source version or even the CSGO version. It's still pretty cool to see. So yeah, that's definitely a yes. And so the final question is a question that I am going to keep for a separate video, but I'm gonna try to answer it partially right now. Can you put a Zombie Escape server playing schedule on so we know when you are playing? And I know a lot of you guys always ask me when I join CSGO or Counter-Strike Source or 1.6 when I'm going to record and when I'm going to play Zombie Escape, because everybody wants to play with me, and I mean, that's pretty amazing. But at this point, it's impossible to let everybody know, like, separately when I'm going to play. It's just not possible anymore. And there are a lot of ways that I've been thinking about of doing this, but right now I can't give you any details. That will be for a future video soon enough, because it's an important thing that, for my subscribers, and I think that should be addressed. But right now, I am probably going to put up some sort of, not a playing schedule, but at least a way for people to know when I'm going to record. It will never be on a fixed date. That's one thing I can say for sure, because I'm not the type of guy to stick to a schedule and say, I'm going to play at 5 p.m. No, that's never going to be the case. So I'm going to find a way to let you guys know. So, yeah, that's actually all that there is for the Q&A that I can answer. And I mean, it's pretty cool to see all of the support, and to see already, you know, at this point of recording the video, there are already 61,000 subscribers. I mean, ever since we've reached the 50,000 subscriber milestone, it's been blowing up. It's unreal again. And despite all the shit that's been happening on YouTube, because a lot of channels are currently just quitting and you know, being angry at Google, obviously, for everything that's happening on YouTube, even though, you know, somewhere I'm still supporting YouTube and Google because I know they're in a shitty situation. But on the other hand, the thing with advertisement is that they've now given so much power to the advertisers that all the smaller channels, everything that is, like, you have the small top and everything below that now is gone. Everybody there has to find a different way of getting, you know, their money. And even some of the top creators have to find other ways of advertising, because at their rate of expense, they also can't keep up with the ad revenue. But anyway, that's you know, I've always thought about making a video ranting about the ads, and I probably will sometime later down the road, but I don't think it's important to do that in this video. I mean, it's not that important. Everybody has these problems at this point, but my channel, despite that, has not been affected by views and subscribers, and that's my point. You guys keep supporting me, and that's truly all that matters on this channel. And once again, before the video is done, I want to say thank you so much. And I'm gonna keep making these videos finally where we're personally addressing one another to build up some form of community and have a conversation, which I think is much more interesting to have this type of content along with the Zombie Escape videos and the game reviews, and maybe, who knows, some future content that has yet to appear on this channel. So thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.